everybody. It is Wednesday, right?
Yes.
Cool. Well, we are so excited today because, as you could probably tell by the thumbnail, it's a dynamic duo day. And Jason and I are so excited to bring on our favorite dynamic duo from Sledgehammer Horror. Please welcome Ashley and Ken.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
This is so exciting.
We're excited.
Long time no talk.
I know.
I know.
So what's been new with you guys? What have you been up to? You've been extremely busy. I know it's October, so
Posting crazy.
October is so busy for us. It feels like every night we've been doing something. If I'm not working or doing something horror related, which I'm not complaining. We love.
Right. It's cool because we just had it's like October's always really busy, but it's super cool. Like we get to work with you guys today, and just earlier today I worked with Anastasia Elfman, who is Danny Elfman's sister-in-law. I got to interview her, and we decided we were going to drop the bombshell here. Monday, Ashley and I have an interview with Madeline McGraw.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so
nice.
awesome.
Yeah, we're excited.
We are very, very excited about that. She's a sweet young lady. We got to meet her in Indy and spend a little time with her, and we finally were able to make this happen. And Ashley and her had a good connection. So rather than doing a My First Horror Movie, we were like, let's just bring her on for a regular interview to talk about a movie she has coming up. We went through all the SAG paperwork. We're not going to be talking about anything that struck work because we fully support the strike and the union.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to cross our T's and dot our I's on that. And we wanted to tell everybody here tonight with you guys that it's official. We'll be doing it on Monday, and we're super, super excited about it.
Heck yeah.
I'm so honored that you guys saved that for us.
Thank
We
you.
adore the McGraw sisters. We're we watched The Fall of the House of Usher, and now we're on to A Haunting of Hill House because he has not seen it.
Ooh.
So yeah,
good.
he has not seen
It's
the
good
other
so
Mike
far.
Flanagan works.
We got
They're beautiful.
I've seen some of them, like Dr. Sleep and stuff like that. But,
Yeah.
So we watched Fall of the House of Usher this week, and by I say this week, I mean like in 2 days.
Yeah.
We just like crushed it. It was so good. So we're like, okay, we got to start this one. So it's funny and ironic that you've got a McGraw on that, you know.
They're
Yeah.
they're
What
so
neat news.
cute. Like they
They
are
are.
just crushing everything that they're doing. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
love
And
to see it.
speaking of which, they just announced that Mike Flanagan is going to be at Horror Hound in
They
Cincy.
did.
in March.
saw
I don't think I'm going to be able to leave his table. I'm just going to hold on to his leg like
They're
a
like-
annoying little brother.
Security.
Yeah.
Please get this weirdo away.
Like,
See, what
it's
you got to
funny
do
'cause-
is you got to like apply to be his handler. So
Uh-huh.
you just sit next to him the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
There
you're
you
there.
go.
I'm here to help.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
to
Yeah. Except for he's gonna be like
take everything.
Yeah.
Sniff.
It's crazy because, like, I'd say right now Flanagan's probably my favorite director, and Henry Thomas is probably my favorite
Yeah.
horror actor at the
He's
moment.
killing it.
There's
Great.
so little that I don't enjoy from Mike Flanagan.
Yeah.
Like he's
We haven't got to
killing
see
it.
the fall of Usher. We haven't got to see that yet.
We have not. We need to though.
I've got to tell you, Henry is like when his character first started talking, like you'll see him and the way that he does this character is just so unique and perfect and human. And he's
Mhm.
like awkward, but an a-hole, but that like there's just so much going on that he put
Yeah.
into it. And I could tell that he put a lot of work into this particular character. And I love the way that he does it. But for me, Carla is my standout. So if
That's
they
what
add
I've
her to
heard.
Horror Hound, I'll probably be like, oh,
We gotta go.
Yeah.
Or if you guys come, you know you got a place to stay. You don't got to
Yeah.
stay at a motel.
For real.
Thanks.
So if you guys come, you know you got a place out here you can crash.
Oh,
You hear that, everybody? It's Sledgehammer
Party
Horror's
at the
house.
Sledge House.
We brought
Yeah.
one for our friends.
Oh,
got
my
some
goodness.
hellos.
Oh, who we got?
Danny.
Danny, hey, what's up, Danny? Jeremiah, nice to see you.
Oh,
Cody.
Hey, it's Cody.
I love Cody. He abuses
Yes.
our like button. It's
Yeah,
the best.
he's constantly roundhouse kicking it.
What up, David?
Cody
Hi,
is
David.
He's an OG.
yeah, Cody is just one of the kindest,
Mhm.
sweetest guys you could ever hope to be friends with. Like I adore him and that magnificent, beautiful beard of his.
So
It
jealous.
is great. I
It's
always
amazing.
wonder what it's like to have a beard like that.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. You know, like
He is.
we talk about this with you guys and Garrett and a lot of the people that make content. We just love it so much when people make content and love ours or like share ours, you know, and we love doing that too. And he's always on top of everything we're doing. He's always here. So we're trying to make sure we support him so much too. So
right.
I love it. It's always a feel good moment with those things.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
You are so welcome.
Oh no, you know we love you, buddy.
Howdy.
Oh, we got a Michigan person in the house.
What's
hey,
up?
The Dipper.
Hey, Justin.
Hey.
Yeah. Oh,
And other Cody.
Cody.
Oh.
Magnificent beard. Oh, I love that. So we know your story of how you guys met, but it is truly beautiful. Can you share with everybody maybe who is not familiar with you how you guys met and came to be like, I'm spooky and I love you?
Why don't you start this one?
We had been friends for a while. We've been together since high school, and like we had been hanging out, and then we finally started to get closer and closer.
Okay, so he kind of was like, he was kind of like dating one of my friends first.
Oh, we didn't hear this part. Look at this
fair,
She okay.
to be fair, like she's not
dead.
angry.
She's
She's not
dead.
You guys
angry.
are a horror channel.
Oh yeah. I wonder how that happened.
We had nothing to do with it. No, rest in peace. You know, she was still a friend of ours afterwards. So, you know, her and I split up. I had never cheated on her.
No, nothing like that.
Me and her had been split up for about a year before we actually had gotten together.
She kind of had a lot going on.
Yeah.
For a young girl. And she kind of went away, and then him and I became really good friends and connected pretty much with horror. Went and seen War of the Worlds for the first time.
That was our
first
date.
ever date.
And then I went back to her house, and she had a "People Under the Stairs" poster, and I was like, "I'm gonna marry this girl someday."
Yeah, so
like this is it. This is the one. And so I was like, you know what? If you want to leave, you got to get a lawyer. You got to sign all these papers. You know, you gotta. I'm gonna make you spend a lot of money if you want to leave me. So
and then we had the kids.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna make sure that like we'll have those type of lawyers have to get involved. And I was like, Rocky, if you ain't doing nothing for the next 30 or 40 years, maybe we could go on and get married or something.
Yeah.
I hope that was it.
That's exactly how he proposed to me.
Do you want to tell them how I proposed to you?
So we went to a Detroit Tigers game, a baseball game. And I was getting ready to go to the bathroom. It was like, what do you?
The bottom of the sixth inning.
Bottom of the sixth inning. I was gonna say halftime. I know you would have killed me.
You would have had to have gone and gotten one of those lawyers I was talking about.
You're like, all right, I don't want to be married anymore. And I was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And he was like, you can't go. And I was like, I can't go to the bathroom.
You can't.
And all of a sudden, like the sign,
the big scoreboard,
it started like saying all the birthday things and everything, and then I read my name up there, and it was like, will you marry me? And I looked at him, and he had a ring, and
I was down on my knees.
You were the right Ashley. Because there was a couple Ashleys there, I assume.
Right.
We nailed it. We got the right one.
They got the right one, because I was about to go pee, and then like everybody knew around me except for me. Like he was high-fiving all these strangers, and I was like, oh, so everybody knew.
Yeah. Because she had gone before, and I told everybody, I was like, listen, at the end of the sixth inning, I'm going to propose to her on the big board. So you guys got to hang out for a little bit.
Yeah.
And funny enough, Call Me Maybe by Carly Rae Jepsen was playing. So that song will always be super special, because I proposed to my wife while Call Me Maybe was playing.
Yeah.
So like that's a super special.
Sweet.
Like people be like, you listen to that song? That song is more special to me than you could ever understand.
Yeah.
So like I remember everything about it. Like, and like I was happy and sad, because at the bottom of the sixth inning, the Tigers scored 9 runs in the bottom of the sixth inning. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome.
What a sign.
Please get this over so I can propose to my fiance. And like my mom and dad came, and her dad and stepmom came, and we all drove separate, because I was like, listen, if she says no, I am not fucking writing. I'm going to need some time to cool down if she says no.
Right.
Oh, well, I'm glad she didn't.
Yeah.
Me too.
Very sweet.
Such a good story, and I like all the little pieces. It's always cool when you've got something like that, because every time that song plays, I'm sure you think about that.
Every single time we hear that song, like it's a magic moment for me. Like
crazy.
That song is like
I cry
beyond special to me now. You know, because her dad's gone now and my mom's gone now.
So they were both there.
Yeah, and they were both there for that moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a very special moment. And like I said, the person I've been with since high school, I got to marry, you know, and I know that it's cliche, but not a lot of people get to say that. And so I feel so lucky.
Yeah.
Sure. I took my wife to the top of a lighthouse. That's awesome. That's legit.
That is awesome.
That's so cool.
Left her there for 50 years to work at the lighthouse. She's friends with the gulls.
She's still
I
up
didn't
there.
say the goat, right? I took her to the top
I
of the
took her up
lighthouse.
there.
Taught her how to run it. She's still there
There's
now.
no other prospects for you.
Oiled
Just
it
seagulls.
regularly.
Just seagulls and Robert Pattinson. So fast forward these many years later, how did you like both decide like, hey, we could do this YouTube channel together?
We did it.
Yeah, we did. It was like totally his thing at first. And
it's funny because like during the the pandemic, I had always, my first horror movie is something I've done since I was young.
Yeah.
You know, just asking my friends and stuff like, what was the first horror movie you watched and stuff like that. And I was like, I kind of want to do this as like a podcast thing. And Ash was like, you should totally do it. You know, you're good with people. This is something you're passionate about. And I was like, I don't think anybody would want to talk to me about this though. And the first person I reached out to actually was a hero of mine, Josh Eppard, the drummer from Coheed and Cambria.
And when he said yes, like I thought he was like gonna cry.
I was so excited.
He was so nervous too to like talk to him, and like I literally was like, okay, me and the kids we're just gonna leave the house and like you just have this time, like have a great time. And he was so nervous.
Right. And then like I reached out to more and more people, and like Cody Leach, you know, and like somebody I've always looked up to when it comes to YouTube, somebody that's been like, you know, a good friend now, but at the time it was just like nerve wracking. And he was like, dude, of course, that's awesome. Dice Rollin', I just saw Dice was here. They were another one that was like, of course, I would love to do this. And these are people born to be rad. Garrett's another one, you know, he came on, and I was like, who wants to talk to me about this? And now we're over 500 episodes of my first horror movie.
Crazy.
And it's something that, and people ask me, you know, like, do you get bored with doing this and hearing the same movies? And it's like, no, I don't.
Everybody has their own aspect about like their first time, you know, their first time watching a horror movie. Like everyone has their own, you know,
their own backstory to it. Well, then Ashley started, you know, it was like, you know, you're doing this. Hey, what's up, Troy?
Hey, Troy.
You know, Ashley was like, you know, you're doing this and it's awesome, but I've got these other ideas for these other things. And the first one she came up with was Didn't See That Coming, another segment we do. And, you know, she was pitching me it, and I was like, I love that, and I'll do it if you do it with me. And she was like, nah, it's okay.
I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
She's always
I'm
been
more of like the introvert, and I was like, I'm not going to get in front of the camera. Like, that freaks me out. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah, so, oh, that's totally a horror movie, by the way, Adam. I know people will argue. Totally a horror movie.
It is, Adam.
It's on the list.
100%.
For
sure. Just like Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Right, Jason?
Yeah. I love it.
It always comes back to the dinosaurs. We picked our Halloween costume, and you best believe it's Jurassic Park.
That's so legit.
That's awful.
But yeah,
Sorry
so
about me.
we kept going and going on it, and like I was just like twisting her arm, like, please, you know, I know that you would be great, and you know.
Well, the first one we did was what was the first one we did?
Frailty,
yeah. And it was like just a few minutes before he was supposed to like go do this, and he was like, come on, just come do this with me. And I was like, no, I don't want to. And so I was like, okay, I'll do it. And then like before the guy hopped on, I was like, okay, I'm not doing it. And I like kept going back and forth and not doing it. And then I was like, okay, I'll do it. And I felt like afterwards, I was like, I was horrible at that. I can't do this. And he was like, no, you were fine. And I like,
if you go back and watch that episode, she was so horrible.
I was horrible. I felt like I was shy, and I felt so dumb.
What I love about it is like we just did a Redux episode. Like the newest Didn't See That Coming episode we did was doing Frailty again.
I'm glad you thought I was horrible.
I didn't then.
Wow.
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, you know what?
I've gotten so good now that it makes you look
here
like
we
you
go,
were bad
backtracking.
Yes, Frailty is, and that's what it was. The movie was so underrated that we wanted to give it the proper respect and love.
Yeah.
So we went and redid that episode.
Plus we kind of, our formula is a little different on how we do them. So yeah.
And so Ashley started coming up with these ideas, and I was like, I will do these if you come and do them with me, because you do all this work of writing and coming up with these ideas, and I want you to get the recognition of it. And even to this day, like when she writes a Didn't See That Coming episode or a Versus episode, I never proofread it.
Yeah.
I never do anything like that. Like I go, we put it up on a teleprompter and I read it and we go. Like that's it. Just boom. Yes, super underrated.
Yeah, for sure.
And I got to say this because the cat's out of the bag on that one. Saturday is Ashley's review of Hocus Pocus. She did a review of Hocus
Pocus. That's going to be so exciting.
That's
gonna be awesome.
I can't wait to see that.
When she does her reviews, again, I have no input on anything. She brings me the final product. I put it on, I edit it, and I go. Well, the way that our formula is you have the intro, the positives, the negatives, and then the overall and a ranking. And I'm going through and I get to a certain part of the episode and I just start laughing. And I called my kids into the editing room and I was like, you guys got to see this. And I want to know if you guys think it's funny too, or if it's just a geriatric thing. And my kids are watching and my 15-year-old and my 11-year-old
I
were just
can make them laugh like
dying
that is
laughing.
something like I feel good about myself. Like, I
Impressive,
make you
yeah.
laugh. Like you think I'm funny, I'm cool.
I literally
Mom's
called her
cool.
at work and I was
Mom's
like,
not
babe,
cringe.
this is so no cap. It was genius.
Yeah. I wasn't mid.
Yeah, it was not me. It was bumping.
Yeah.
Is that
I
something
don't think
We're gonna be
so.
the
I
most
think that's
popular
your
flat.
channel with Gen Z.
Flat.
right?
Yeah,
Flat.
man.
Yeah, it was flat. It was flat.
Bumping was our generation,
Yeah.
I think.
Your review was all that and a bag of chips.
That
Okay.
is definitely our generation.
Ooh.
Aging yourself.
Right.
I want to say
That's pretty much
too,
how we got started. Like I forced Ashley
Okay.
to come on. Like I was doing these things and she was just coming up with these great ideas. And I was like, I want people to see how great you are because the ideas you come up with and the way that you write is so special.
Right.
And all the behind the scenes work she does, like when we watch a movie to do it, Didn't See That Coming or a Versus, all the research she does on special features and commentary to like get cool facts and stuff to go along with it. Like it's inspiring for me to watch her work, and I'm like, yeah, I just read words and then edit the clips together.
Which is a lot. Editing is a lot of work.
It is a lot.
It is, but it's still like it's
Don't show
inspiring,
yourself.
like when I see like my wife, who's my best friend, coming up with all these great ideas, and I'm just like, wow, like you're pretty and smart.
That's so nice of you to say.
That's
You owe me
so
20 bucks.
cute.
You too. I feel that though. There's a lot of times I'm not obviously, but I'm the primary editor. And it's so cool when you really see them like get in the groove, because like when we were first starting, I'm just gonna put us on blast, especially with Snacks and Screams. We're so meticulous and like we had to get the inflections right and the jokes right and everything like that. And I'm too much of a perfectionist sometimes. We'd have like 50 takes on a shot.
Yeah.
Like it would just it was just unbelievable. And part of that's on me and part of it's on her. Like do we rehearse? Do we practice it? Do we know it? Do we have it down? And like now we're at the point where she's like 2 takes almost all the time. And it's just so incredible. Like when I get that file, I'm just so proud of her every time. Because like I know the work that goes into that. You've got to really think about what you're going to say and really rehearse it, and to just sit down, switch it on, and crank it out. It's impressive. It's cool. I feel that 100%, Ken.
Yeah, really, it
So
really
you guys
is.
really divide and conquer then between the two of you. I mean, realistically, between the writing and putting it up and coming up with ideas. And I mean, do you guys have like meetings to say, okay, this is how our week is going to go? I mean, how do you kind of work together? How does you go into like making your channel a thing? How's that work?
Yeah, we have this big old schedule book, and we pencil each other in. Like, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing this day. This is what we're doing that day. What's your work week look like this day?
I'm so old school. Like I literally have a schedule book. It's not like electronic. It's like a legit. It's like an agenda. Like I'll highlight shit.
I grab
People
it,
underestimate the power of writing it down. I love it.
Yeah.
And I cross off days like we can't do it this day. We got this going on, or So we definitely have to talk about what's going on because
it's a team effort.
Yeah, and we also, we also both work full-time jobs, and we have 3 children that are in sports and dance, and so it's like we have to be organized, or this would never work.
And that's why, at the moment, we can't do anything on Fridays.
Yeah.
And maybe next week it might be Fridays and Saturdays because Friday is the last football game before the playoffs. So we'll get our playoff schedules on Sunday.
Yeah.
So like we've been kind of, and then obviously like right now with the strike, we're being, I just had to reschedule about 6 interviews, and I got about 5 interviews that are recorded and on hold out of my respect for SAG, the WGA. And I just want everything to be, the last thing I would ever want to do is go against what they're fighting for. So, you know, we understand where they're coming from. We support where they're coming from. Obviously the writer's part is all but done, but the SAG part is still, you know, very much in full effect. So we just want to support that as much as we can. These people deserve a living wage. The writers deserve health care. They deserve more than $1.89 in residual checks for The Office.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
like it's just
think about the tens of millions that bounced between the different streaming services for that one show.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, the last thing I would ever want to do is be like, oh, I don't give a shit about that. My podcast is a little more important. You know, like, come on. Man. Like, I want to make sure I'm supporting those people and what they're fighting for. That's what all we want to do is be as supportive as we can to the horror community and what they're fighting for.
Absolutely.
I should have just put a canceled thing on here so everything you can say, even if it's not questionable, I'd be like canceled.
That accessories list got
canceled. Got that canceled finger.
Oh man. I gotta say, I know it's gonna kind of transition into this anyways in the conversation, but like I'm just unbelievably impressed by the fact that you guys pull that off.
Yeah.
You know, like Garrett said something about, hey, he owes you a message back. I feel like I do that all the time too. I don't know how you guys do this.
Yeah.
Like you guys
kids and then full-time jobs.
I know you're working way more than us.
Yeah.
And we're just like, what? And then you said 500 videos on that episode.
Yeah.
I like to do a little research before I talk to people. And, you know, like I swung through your channel the other day and you guys are at 842 videos, I think.
Yeah.
That's
wild.
Nuts.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I know you guys have been doing it for like a year and a half longer than us, but
do you guys
we're at like
burned
192.
Like, yeah. Do you guys ever get burned out, or you just like, we work really well together, it's fun, we don't have any problem? Like, how does that work?
I think the thing is, like,
we take like break, like every summer we go on vacation. Like we take this family vacation. Like we only have our kids for 18 years, and it's really something special to us to like take them somewhere new every year. And when we go, it's like no social media, like or very little social media. Like this is our family time. And like we do take breaks from it. Like let's just take this week off. Like we need to, you know, we just need time just to be a family, or just to rest, or
especially like right now. My first horror movies are recorded, edited, uploaded, and scheduled up to November 20th.
Yeah.
That's
so
wild.
I record 3 to 4 episodes a day.
Well, then we can like,
but then I can take a week off, and I don't miss anything on the channel.
Yeah.
You know, it still gets uploaded as needed. I can take a week off. We could take a week and just say, you know what, let's just lay around the house, spend time with the kids, and not do anything after we get out of work except for be family.
Yeah. Because we also work separate shifts. Like he gets home at 6 and I'm leaving to go into work at 6. So, you know, we're separated there. Yeah.
Right. It's just like Ken and Ash are straight up workhorses. Yeah. Thank you. And that's what it is. We love doing this.
We do. And we have a lot of fun, and it's something that we, you know, we get along and do together.
Thanks, Sass.
Hey, Sass.
That's Ashley grew up with her.
I did.
One of our best friends.
That's my best friend. She's the OG one that I went and seen all the horror movies when we were kids. Like when it was weird to like horror movies.
Goes far
so
back.
I think that we talked about this on one of our Instagram live streams, but in the new year, we're really going to scale back on my first horror movies, because right now we're releasing them Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then sometimes a special one on Thursday and Saturday. But in the new year, we want to do more on location stuff. We want to try to branch out a little bit. So we'll still probably release 2 to 3 videos a week. I don't think that will ever stop. My first horror movie, I don't think, until I run out of people to talk to and the billions of people on this planet, that will never stop. But like I said, it's hard to, when you're doing 3 interviews a day and still trying to be dad, still trying to be a role model, still trying to be a positive influence on people, still trying to be a husband. You know, like I said, I work 60 hours a week at an auto parts store, you know, so I still have my nose to the grind on that. And my first horror movie, like I said, we'll probably go down to maybe one episode of that a week, and then a special episode, something like my first horror movies would be on Monday, and then our Didn't See That Coming versus In Defense Of will be on Friday. Just to scale it back a little bit for the start of the year. We'll see what goes on, but we have a couple on location things we're actually really, really excited about.
I'm super excited about it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, and then like, I think next year is going to be the first time that we go to Horror Hound and actually do a on location thing while we're there. I usually don't like to do that kind of stuff. And I still probably won't include any celebrity interview type stuff because they're busy enough and I don't want to push more on them. Like, hey, can you answer a couple questions for my camera? That's just not who I am. I feel like that's really pushy and rude. But I mean, like, we'll probably interview like friends that are there that we know and talk to people that are there and kind of give our, you know, our objective view of what we were doing there. But like I have people ask me all the time, like, when you go to these cons, do you ask the people to be on your show? I'm like, no, that's not the time or the place. You know, I want to meet you. I want to shake your hand, tell you I appreciate the hard work you do. You've been an inspiration for me, at least for this or this or this, and then let them move on. They have a lot of shit they're working on, but again, time and place, and I just want to be respectful for what they're, you know, and I just, hey, now that I got you cornered and I'm in your face, you want to come on my podcast? I just feel like that's a really good way to go about it.
After going to Horror Hound and running a booth with Fangoria, I mean, we have such an appreciation for the people who are the stars there all weekend talking to people, because it is really different to be behind a table, to be on all the time, to not be able to go to your room or step away or sit down on the floor with nobody looking at you unless you have a cheeseburger chair behind a curtain.
You might have
even then, it's so much, and to constantly be bombarded with questions and asking, and that, I could see that. That's very nice that you guys are so respectful of that. We try to do the same thing. I think the only time I've ever talked to somebody at a con was when we were filming Fredheads and everyone was there, and we're like, later after hours, just come up for like 5 minutes because we have you all here. Would you mind talking to us? And that was like kind of it, but
well, and that's for a whole documentary, not a podcast. You know, like, that's a complete different. And like when we met at Horror Hound, you know, we were like, hey, we got to connect. Now's not the time or the place, but you know, I just wanted to be able to shake your guys' hands, give you guys hugs, tell you I love you and I appreciate you and I, you know, admire you, and we'll connect later on this week on something. You know, and that I feel like that was the right way for us to go about it with each other. And obviously it worked because the amount of times we've gotten to work with each other since then, we've become really good friends. And that to me is more important than any type of episode or any amount of money or anything like that, is the friendships that Ashley and I have created. You know, I just texted Jason earlier about the new Blink song. You know, like, we just, you know, have real conversations like friends do now. And to me, that's super, super
I've got to text Ashley more often. I've been thinking about you a lot lately. We're making our way through the Halloween franchise, so
that's unfortunate.
Come on now.
Where's that canceled one?
Cheeseburger chair and awesome.
You know what?
I'm both.
Yeah, it is. It's both. Adam, so we were talking about Horror Hound when we were at Horror Hound in August.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everything has become 1 month. I don't know. That's why you asked, is it Wednesday?
It looks the same outside. It feels the same outside. It really does.
Hot again.
Hot and sunny.
But so Adam, we were in the booth for Fangoria, and it was just the two of us. So there'd be times where we were like starving, eating. And so one of us would go behind the like backdrop, and there was a chair in about this, I don't know, this much room. I don't know why I did this. Where you could sit in a chair and eat your cheeseburger alone.
Because that was all they really had to eat.
That was
at
your
the
piece.
thing nearby.
Oh, there it is, right?
So
there.
we were just taking turns in the cheeseburger chair.
We did. We did. Also, I need to shout out. Where'd he go? Martini with the deep Starship Troopers cut. Zegama.
Nice.
That's my favorite. It's my favorite vacation location.
I know.
Vacation location.
Hey.
Sorry, I took over again.
You were talking about the new Blink songs. I just got to say real quick, shameless plug.
Oh my goodness. Here we go.
The only song I'm really not digging, by the way, is Edging. That's the only one that I'm like, eh. But November 2nd, Jason will be on the channel with a couple of our other friends to rank every single Blink 182 record. So I hope you guys can make it out and watch us talk about some punk rock, because it's nice every now and then to take a little break from horror as much as I love it and talk about some other things I'm passionate about. So I'm super stoked to have Jason to come on and talk about some Blink-182 with me. I'm super stoked about that.
I'm gonna really
I can't wait
myself.
for him to have somebody to talk to about this who knows, because I'm usually like, yeah, that sounds
Blink
great.
182.
Yeah.
I blink a lot.
I blink a lot. He sent me it too, and I was like, I didn't listen to it.
Yeah, I sent her the song. Literally today, I got home from work. I was like, so what do you think of the Blink song? She was like, what? I didn't. I was like, well, we're cutting my hair. We are going to listen to this song.
Yeah, and he made me listen to it.
I did.
Actually, I'm a better husband. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Ken and I are married now. Sorry.
Yep.
We're Blink-182.
Now I need a whole new set of lawyers.
You do.
Go for it.
Every time this comes up, she's like, okay, finally.
Right.
Oh,
Take
Take
him.
him. Bye.
So you guys obviously work very well together, and that energy of being able to feed off each other is what helps make things work. But not everybody always does. What advice might you have to people who are like, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel with my significant other, but maybe they end up not working so well together? Like, what advice maybe that they could keep in mind while they're working on things, or just something to say to somebody like that who might be struggling?
I honestly have fun. Like,
Yeah.
The number one thing is like, if you're not having fun with this and it feels forced, then it's probably not not going to work. Yeah. Like, if it feels forced and it feels like a job and it feels like a lot of work, then yeah, it's probably not going to work out.
My big 3 pieces of advice when you're working with your partner: 1, never curse at each other. It doesn't help. It only makes things worse. It exacerbates the situation. I've never seen a fight where a guy's like, you're a bitch, and the girl's like, you're right, this fight's over. Don't do that to them. Don't make it personal. Find something that you're both passionate about. Don't have any type of selfishness with it. If I had a baseball podcast, Ashley would be like, this is cool, but she wouldn't be able to come on and really enjoy herself as well.
I would talk about halftime and
right.
Cool things happen at
make
halftime.
Sure that it's something that you're both passionate about. Yeah. Make sure it's not something where one of you is super passionate and the other one is supportive passionate. Like I said, it's got to be something that you're both super keen on and super, super enjoyable about. And 3, do not ever try to do YouTube to make money. You're going to get discouraged very quick.
Yeah.
You're going to get bummed out very fast, and it's going to cause you to question yourself and wonder what you're doing wrong. If you just go here to have fun, and you and your partner are doing something that you're both extremely passionate about, you're going to fight just like you do in a relationship. You're going to have arguments. You're going to have disagreements. It comes down to a democracy. You got to meet in the middle. And there's certain things that Ashley has wanted to do that I have shot down, and she's been supportive of. There's plenty of things I've wanted to do that she shot down and I've been supportive of. Obviously, I've questioned her reasons. She's questioned mine, but we've, come to these agreements on this is where we have to be. We got to meet in the middle. And the biggest thing is, like, if you're wanting to do something like this and you're very, very serious about it, you'll find a way to bend and not break with each other. There's certain things that you're going to want to discuss that the other person may not be too, like SA in movies is something that luckily Ashley and I both are super uncomfortable with. So we don't talk about those type of things. But there's other times where we're watching movies and I'll be like, oh, we need to get this clip. And she'll be like, that makes me uncomfortable, or vice versa. Hey, we should talk about this during our Versus episode. I don't really know if I want to put this in there.
Yeah.
And it's not because I want to look down on her, be like, your ideas aren't good, and vice versa. She doesn't feel that way for me, but I have to take into account her feelings, and she has to take into account mine. And when you're a team, that's what you do. You do what's best for the team, not what's best for you. And I feel like when you've been together for 18 years, you kind of know what makes the other person uncomfortable even before you say it. So, it's just, you just got to remember to do the things you're super passionate about and always treat the person you're with the respect that you would hope that they would treat you with. And the biggest thing, don't curse at them.
Yeah.
Don't curse at the person. That's if I could give you one biggest piece of advice, I mean, I curse.
But
but
just be like, we're goofy. We have a lot of
Right.
stupid like reels, just like
Of bloopers.
of bloopers because
we're goofy with each other.
Yeah.
We always want to have fun at the end of the day. That's what this is about.
If it wasn't fun, like I don't think I would want to do it. Like,
Right.
you know, I already work. Like I don't need
A second job.
Yeah, a second job.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, making the friends that we've made along the way. And I know it sounds like such a super corny thing to say, but Ashley and I grew up in a place where horror was not acceptable.
It's still not. People think we are the weird, like parents were weird. We're weirdos. Like, yeah, so they're the horror people.
We have this open communication with you guys, you know, and everybody that's here, you know, whether it's in the chat or, you know, other people that we've worked with, you know, content creators that we've been able to go into their lives and they've been able to come into ours. And, you know, it's like, that's the kind of stuff that keeps you going too, because you meet these other people that inspire you, you know, and make you want to be better. And, and it's not in like a competitive way, but just in like, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You know, we're all a family. Content, especially in the horror content creator community family, it's a family, and we're always rooting for each other and we're always helping each other. And it really makes us want to be better so we can put up the best image we possibly can for everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, we've had people come to us to be like, you know, what should I do for this or what should I do for that? And we'll, you know, give them our opinion on it. And I love that people ask for our opinion, to be honest.
What's up, Gory?
I do want to say, this will be cheesy, but I kind of feel like you guys are becoming like somebody that a lot of channels look to, because of having those right mindsets and attitudes about like
and how hard
rising tides raise all ships, and how
Yeah.
hard you work, and the fact that you guys are able to work together.
My other nail is coming off. I can't do it.
It's always the nail. It's the nail.
The nail
I'm so
again.
ready for this synchronized.
I've got one hand. I
We
can
practice
work with.
all the time.
But you gotta do it together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I
Together.
didn't know we were doing that.
I
was gonna
totally
leave you
laughed
hanging.
somewhere. But you know, I want to say that I just admire that, and I
Thank you.
think that's really, really cool, and it's 100% the right mindset, and I think that's why you're making so many friends in this industry, and the fact that, you know, like we can get on these lives and we see a lot of the same people on both, because people like that, you know. So I wanted to throw that your way.
You guys aren't trying too hard. You aren't like, you're working hard, but you're not trying too hard. You're very genuine. You make people feel special, and you know, because like you were saying, we're all the weirdos, and for a long time we haven't felt special. So being able to feel special, and like you have a friend who's like you, is a really, really important thing that people don't understand.
Oh,
and especially,
I wish we could have a group
I know.
right now.
Especially when you get older. You know, like when you're kids, it's not really that big of a deal. But when you get older, when you're trying to find the true people that really, you know, mean a lot to you, like that to me is when it just gets super rad. You know, like it's so rad to like be able, because I've always been a weird guy, but especially once my mom died, I've always told all my friends like, hey, love you, you know, and everybody thinks it's weird. Like when me and my guy friends, like guys will leave the nap store, I'm like, all right, bud, love you. And everybody's like, what the hell? I'm like, you got to get used to it, because it's not changing.
Well, just like you hug everybody, and now our 3-year-old, she hugs everyone, and she'll just like, she'll be like, I'm a hugger. And then she hugs people. And I'm like, how about we get consent? Like, ask them if you can hug them.
Because she sees me hugging people that I've known my whole life.
Yeah.
You know, because that's who I am. When I see people, you guys know, I shake their hand, and then I gauge their eyes, and if they're comfortable, I give them a hug. Obviously, I would never want to make anybody uncomfortable.
Right.
The last thing I would ever want. But I'm just a physical guy. Like, that touch to me is super important. That connection is super important. And it's nothing sexual or perverse or anything like that. It's just the connection of human beings is such a special fucking thing that we take for granted every day.
Absolutely.
You know, until you can't tell that person you love them anymore. Then you're like, why didn't I?
Yeah.
Why didn't I?
Do I have to die to hear you miss me? You know what I mean? Like,
here we go.
Back to Blink.
Back full circle. But you know, like I'm saying, my mom, she just didn't wake up.
Yeah.
Which I didn't even tell you guys. Home is Where the Haunt is 100% based on reality. The mom dying was my mom. She just didn't wake up. You know, the kid being crushed by the tree, complete true story, happened at the house my mom was living in at the time.
Whoa.
There's a lot of Home is Where the Haunt is that is 100% based in fact. that we just fictionalized for a ghost story. But yeah, it's once my mom passed, the realizing how special life is really hit. So we really put that on the chin. My mom never got to see anything Sledgehammer horror.
She didn't.
So she would have been our biggest fans.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I
So
was gonna say she'd be very proud of what's happening.
Yeah, she was so rad.
Yeah.
She took me to my first Blink show.
Aww.
She did.
Good mom.
My mom took me to see Blink, Newfound Glory, Alkaline Trio, and Saves the Day.
Wow. So your mom with your music is like my dad and me and my music. My dad took me to all the concerts. He was always my concert buddy.
That's awesome.
I'm really grateful for that. That is so awesome. I know one. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'll say those are the memories that we keep forever. You know, when we hear certain, I cannot hear "Stay Together for the Kids" without thinking about my mom. That was her favorite song. You know,
I love that song.
That's really sweet.
Oh, such a beautiful song, and it's just like those are the things, you know, that I'll always. Those are the memories that we cherish. You know, going to concerts with your dad. That's something you'll never ever forget. That's special, and that's what we want to create in this community is memories that people can talk about and funny dad jokes and stuff like that. You know,
we don't want to talk about.
Plenty of dad jokes. All the room for dad jokes.
I do.
Dad joke and cheeseburger channel right here.
Do you guys ever feel like there's like Ken, I know we've talked about this, and if you don't feel comfortable talking about this, you know, we could keep it short, sweet, and to the point, but you know, that there's a, hey Ken, how's it going? Hey Ken, how's it going? Ken, what's going on? And there's not enough recognition of just how much Ashley does.
Yes. And it irritates the piss out of me. Two of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to content creating is one, that when a situation like that, you know, Ken from Sledgehammer Horror, and it's me and Ashley together. And that's why I wanted Ashley in front of the camera. That's why I let it be known how much work Ashley does. And another pet peeve is like Ashley, on one of the very first reviews she ever did, one of the first comments she got was like, "God damn, girl, you hot." And I'm like, are you serious? Like, I know. Trust me, I know. And this is not a jealous part of me, because if it happened to you or it happened to Kylie or Celise or Anna or, you know, any of our friends, I get so fucking irritated because I'm like, they have mirrors, they know, but they just spent potentially days writing this episode, filming this episode, editing this episode, doing all their research, and the first fucking thing you say is, "Wow, girl, what that mouth do?" Like, what the hell is wrong with you? You know, like, it's so damn disrespectful and irritating. Like, it really, really grinds me because, and I watch my wife, and like, I know she's beautiful. Like, she's a dime piece, as the kids say.
I don't think the kids say that.
Smash.
Do they say that?
No cap.
Oh,
no cap. She's got that Riz. But it's just like, it really does. It wears on my nerves because I've always felt like I'm kind of like, especially with a lot of the female creators that we've worked with a lot, I feel like I am like that father figure, older brother figure. And it's like, why can't you talk about the hard work they've done? Like, why is that not the first thing that comes to your mind? You know, whenever I get a My First Horror Movie, it's always like, man, this was a great conversation. I loved the flow of this. And then my wife does something and it's like, damn, I wonder what her butthole looks like. It's like, what the fuck? You know, like, come on, man. Like have a little bit of respect.
Jason's told me he wonders what your butthole looks like.
I do ask about your butthole, Ken.
I was like, I don't know.
I love you.
Ashley.
It looked like the cover of the Limp Bizkit chocolate starfish and hot dog. That's what it looks like. No. It's just like it really does.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go into detail about your
about my
butthole.
butthole.
Oh no, we know what that album looks like.
Yeah.
We knew.
Right, but it's just to me that's just something that like it really irks me, you know. And like Sassy Sledgehammer, like when you know your stuff, you know, you get that shit too, you know. And then like Kylie at Haunted Hippie, Celise at Sweet and Spooky, Anna, What a Ghoul Wants, Mika and Kira, the Double Feature podcast, like. Why as a society have we not grown past the gender roles of what do you want her to say? Like,
it's not just
DM me your address and I'll be right
gosh.
there.
I always think about that. Shoot your shot.
Yeah.
It's just it's so fucking disheartening for me. And it's not even my, you know what I mean? Like when I see this happen, it's so disheartening because all the work you put in and everything you do. And again, and this goes for a lot of my cosplaying friends too. You know, like you're sitting there, you're doing your cosplays, and you put hours and hours into your makeup and your costume to do everything you've done. And then your first 5 comments are, "What's your OnlyFans?" Like, what the hell, man?
So many people have asked me to start an OnlyFans all the time. And I'm like, absolutely not. Or people will message me and be like, I hope it's okay that I have a crush on you. Is that okay? And I don't respond. And I'm like, what do you want from me? No, I don't. Like, what are you talking about? Stop telling me these things. I don't.
Right.
Gross.
See,
I don't know you.
Me and OnlyFans have a strange relationship because I am 100% on the sex work is work.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do, to each their own. I'm more power to you.
Right. It's just not.
But where me and OnlyFans disagree is they pay me not to put my content on there. I tried it. They were like, "No, you're ruining our site."
He was trying to do the butthole thing.
Yeah,
and it just
they were like, "No, we unfortunately can't have you on. You're going to pay to make sure you're not a part of this anymore."
It's a website.
Yeah,
that I run.
But to answer your question, in the short answer, Diandra, it really pisses me off when Ashley doesn't get the recognition, because when she first started coming on the channel, people were like, "Oh, so your wife forced her way on the channel," which was equally insulting.
Yeah.
Because I was
100%.
begging her to come on. You know, I was never like, "Babe, is it okay if I do a podcast?" You know, she's always been 100% supportive of everything I've done, every decision.
Awesome.
And like I said, she's super introverted. She's so out of her shell now since she started becoming a part of Sledgehammer Horror. But still to this day, like when people approach us at cons and stuff, Ashley's the more reserved one.
I am.
You know, and
for sure.
It's not that she's rude or anything. It's just that's who she is.
I put walls up.
Yeah.
You know, but I definitely like people bring my walls down. Like I really do try.
Right.
Yeah.
So I wish that we could get past the "ooh, woman, pretty."
Not only that, but also it's like, well, you're a girl, like you don't know anything about horror. Like
that's another thing that pisses me off. Like when they find out, Diandra, they find out you're a Nightmare on Elm Street fan. They're like, okay, well, when Robert Englund was 11, what was his English teacher's name? You know, it's like, what?
And they spell it England.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, you're going to come in here and ask me about Freddy Krueger. You spell it Freddie, which of course, if we're going to get into it, was in one of the scripts. And then it went kind of from there. But that's another thing that I'm sure this dude doesn't know. But yeah, they come in and they start questioning you about these things, or you're wrong. Like, what are you talking about? Get out of here.
Have some fun.
But I am lucky. I am lucky
never
that
get
Nightmare is pretty good. But Halloween, I've started doing research just out of curiosity of what other communities are like, and I have seen the Halloweens. I've made comments and regretted it.
Well, see, it's just like I've never been quizzed on my horror knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, oh, bro, you're a horror fan? What? And I tell like my wife's favorite movies.
Horror movies.
Seriously.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. And on the flip side of that, I know a lot of people in this community that are such the polar opposite of that.
Yeah. I mean, for every like, you know,
shitty
bad person, there is 10 good people in this community.
Right.
So
it just sucks because it's usually the shitty person is so shitty that it leaves that much of a bad taast in your mouth.
Yeah.
You
and
know,
they're usually the loudest too.
They are. They
make the most comments.
It's a super bummer.
If you're loud, then you're
people are
right.
going to pay attention.
Yeah. No, that's not how it works. But yeah, that struck a chord with me because I know that I see that a lot just with women in the horror community. And, you know, having talked with you about that, I wanted to make that a point out there of just, you know, how women versus men get treated. And then also when you have a partnership, that it's important to recognize both people who make that happen, because you guys are just so perfectly matched up and you share the load that it's nice when people do recognize that. That's why I also try to mix it up. So sometimes I'll be like, you know, Ken and Ashley, or Ashley and Ken, just like so that it's fair. It's stupid, but so that it's fair, and you guys both feel like you're important, because I think that that's important. I always, you know, look at Sledgehammer Horror as the two of you.
Yeah,
thank you. And it's so funny because like this is I'm not making anything up here. When I went and I actually saw Diandra and Jason at Horror Hound, I was walking with my daughter, and Ashley was in line to meet Kathy. And the first thing I was like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" And Diandra was like, "Where's Ashley?" Yeah. And I was like, "She'll be here, I promise." You know, so like that, I think that meant more to me than it did to Ash.
Well, no, it did when you were like, I was like, "Oh, she wants to meet me." Okay, let's go play.
You know, like that kind of stuff is like to know that you respect my wife enough.
Yeah. To
know that she's just as much a part of this. It's not like 80 Ken, 20 Ashley. It's not even 55 Ken, 45 Ashley. It's 50-50. Yeah. I'm the sledgehammer. I don't want to say it that way. She's the sledgehammer. I'm the horror.
It works.
Yeah,
I'm the captain. She's the sassy.
Yeah. I love that.
I had to throw this up. Tyler, I feel you 100%. So I was actually going to tack this on to the conversation, but this is perfect. I probably watched 10 or 15 horror movies straight through. 100% straight through before I met her.
Yeah.
Like, and I had some that I really loved. We've talked about this before. Everyone knows some of those different movies, some of those different moments, but that's not what it's about. It's about like, do you enjoy something, and do you enjoy, the people that you enjoy it with? And I will say, I hope most of it's not because I'm a guy that people have like given me that pass and not quizzed me, but everyone's been cool about it. I had one guy at Horror Hound correct me because I was talking about Tremors, which I love Tremors, and I didn't call the worms a graboid. He's like, "It's a graboid, idiot." I'm like, "Bye." Like, I don't. Why would I speak to you? You're probably in Tremors 8, sir. But like, like I've gotten that pass. So Tyler, I feel you 100%. It's just about. It's about your interest, and it's okay. Everybody starts somewhere.
People always tell me, they're like, "Oh, I don't have the funds to have all the stuff that you do, Diandra." I'm like, it doesn't matter if you have stuff. Are you kidding me? I just like surrounding myself with this because it's just a particular interest that I have. It doesn't make you any less of a fan. Just because you haven't seen every single Psycho doesn't mean you're less of a fan. No, me. I've never seen any of the Psychos. And, you're a horror fan, and don't let anybody gatekeep or tell you that you're not. If you like horror movies,
there's no how-to book on how to be a horror fan.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you said, there's plenty of horror movies out there that I haven't seen. I just watched Popcorn for the first time this year. And
which we really like. I really like.
Yeah, we really liked that movie.
Yeah, but I mean, there's so many out there. How can you possibly see all of them? Like, why? Just because I haven't seen all the horror movies doesn't mean I don't love horror, because I do.
Right.
Right.
What was the one we just recently watched? The anthology movie, the Carpenter anthology.
Oh,
Body Bags.
Body Bags.
We just seen that
Body Bags.
And
yeah, I only saw that a couple of years ago. Yeah. Yeah, there's just so much.
My least favorite moment with the bad part of the fandom was the nudity disclosure that led to Lauren. Yeah, like that's another thing. And kudos to Lauren, coming out against, all that. So I think if I'm correct, Cinema, what you're talking about is somebody was talking about how there was no nudity in Terrifier 2. And Lauren was like, there's a full-on dick in the movie.
Yeah.
What you mean is there's no female nudity for you to gawk at and be weird about.
Yeah.
And I loved that. I loved how Lauren completely just called the person out. Like, oh, because I wasn't willing to show my boobs in the movie, that's why you didn't like it. And good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her for standing up for what she believes in. And I know there's a lot of actresses out there now that they're not going to be pressured into doing an SA scene if they're not willing to do it. They're not going to do a nudity scene if they're not willing to do it. And hell yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm all about dropping dong. If you want to show more guy dongs in movies, I'm down for it. We've been seeing girl boobs in
that's nice, but there's one particular short that I watched that I didn't get to see enough butt.
Not enough guy butt.
No.
There's a distinct lack of Ken butt.
But I love when a woman can be outspoken about that, because even 15 years ago, it wasn't as accepted for a woman to come out and say, I'm not comfortable with this.
Yeah.
It was, oh, that's the business. If you don't like the business, get out of the business.
Or they would just kind of like, they would
unwilling participants
go to set and throw this on them and be like, this is what you have to do. And they're like, well, I didn't sign up for this. Like, no, you didn't tell me this.
But luckily we're getting out of that now.
Yeah.
you know.
I really liked, and you know they're kind of out of favor now, but we all really liked the like 2007 through 2011 comedies. That's like when comedy died. And I always think about the movie Walk Hard with John C. Reilly, where they made fun of that. And the only time they showed any nudity was when there was a dick right here in his face when he's on the phone with his dad or somebody, you know, and it's just like in your face. Or you think about like Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Like
Jason
the
Segel
only nudity was just big old dicks. And like they were making fun of it that long ago and none of us realized it.
Right.
You know, and now
it's starting to catch on. If you get the chance, go back and get Walk Hard if you have the Blu-ray and watch the special features. There's like a 15-minute interview with that dude's dong. And it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. And like I said, like we had this talk about we had someone on the podcast, which the episode was deleted because I won't go too deep into it. It was just this person was super disrespectful. And they literally called Nightmare 2 the gay Freddy movie.
Yeah.
And I was just like, do you not know who you're talking to?
Right.
Like, if you think you can't watch a slasher movie because there's guys' butts in it, I think it says a lot more about you than it does the film.
Yeah, that's one. I love that one. So.
That's the scariest one.
I completely agree. Every time someone's like, I don't like Nightmare 2, I always go, why? And they'll be
I
like,
know.
And then they say like, well, I didn't like this, that, or the thing. I'd be like, okay, all right. But if they come in and they're like, well, you're gay, I'd be like, oh, blah.
Like,
I mean, that to me is just like Ashley and I made a joke earlier because we were watching Goosebumps, the new Goosebumps TV show.
Yeah,
and I was like,
I totally got into it. I was like, I want to watch more.
I was like, this has a gay and a black in it. This is so woke.
I know. That's so woke. Like how?
It was. Have you guys seen it? Have you guys started watching it?
I'm watching it. He hasn't been.
So good.
Yeah,
so good.
It is.
But it's just like we had someone come at Ashley and I for our Exorcist Believer review. Before we watch any movie, we do it, you know, before we go into the theater.
Yeah, and I said diverse.
No, divisive.
Divisive is what I said.
She says we see why this film is divisive.
And I didn't mean it in a color way at all.
We meant because
some people like it and some people don't. And somebody completely made it about race. And I was like, really? They're
like, oh, so let me guess. You think this movie's divisive because it focuses on a black family?
No.
And I was like,
I didn't even think of that, to be honest with you. I liked it, you know.
Oh, let me guess. You've never watched our channel a day in your life, have you?
Yeah.
Like,
it's apparent.
You can call yourself out real quick there.
Yeah.
But,
ridiculous.
Oh, people can be ridiculous. But you're right. There are a lot of good people out there, and we just can't try to let those bad people get us down, even though sometimes they do.
Absolutely.
Yep. Drown them out with hand holding and love. And butts.
And butts.
Covering up that nail. All right. So I have a couple of games for you guys.
Okay.
The first one is going to be our lightning round. I'm going to give you a couple of questions of this or that, and then a couple that are just like first thing that comes to mind. Let's go. Are you ready?
Are screwed.
So
all right.
You want to answer together or separate?
You could do it separate.
Can we phone a friend?
No friends. This is about you guys.
Okay.
You got to make your decisions. I know. For me, I'm always. I got to get a second opinion.
I feel the pressure.
All right. Early mornings or late nights?
Late nights.
Ooh, I like it. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Nice. Krampus or evil Santa?
Krampus.
Found footage or anthology movie?
Anthology.
Nice. Indoor or outdoor haunted house?
Outdoor.
Nice. Can I say neither?
Yeah.
That's okay. I can't do indoor. I feel too trapped. It's too spooky for me. Candy apples or caramel apples?
Caramel.
Nice. Yes. Pumpkin pie or apple pie?
Pumpkin pie.
Good choice. 90s or 2000s horror?
90s.
Jason Goes to Hell is in the 90s, so I'm going with the 90s.
So is
good. Nice. I kind of feel like I know the answer to this next one. Mike Flanagan or Ty West?
Flanagan.
Mike Flanagan.
Nice. Go out or stay in?
Stay in.
Go.
I don't even lie.
It depends. Yeah.
Come home early. I'll go out.
Anymore, honestly. All right, so we got Freddy versus Jason. What two other horror icons do you want to see face off?
Freddy versus Pinhead.
Ooh, that would be good.
Jason versus Michael.
Why would you want to put
They're
Michael?
just gonna
through
be
that?
Because
like,
I want to show that he is a bad.
I do want to see like how it would be if Michael and Jason faced off because they are obviously very like similar as far as skill level goes. So
Let me ask you this.
Okay, let's go. Is this gonna be a fight?
Jason never
Canceled.
got his ass beat by Busta Rhymes. Throwing that out there, Busta Rhymes whooped Michael's ass all up and down Haddonfield.
Also, Michael never drowned in a lake.
Because Michael's too much of a bitch. He won't even get on a boat.
Yes, he will.
This is Michael.
What have I done?
You can't see me behind the door.
Okay, but
Oh, you see
I
me?
thought Ken was gone.
I'm going to go behind
Michael could
It's like, that's
Invisible.
Michael. That's him.
Jason's like a child, and Michael could up.
Michael's just playing peekaboo the whole. He's like Michael's like the horror
Exactly.
movie.
That's what Jason would like. He'd be like,
He's like the horror
done
movie
this.
John
Civil
Cena.
War.
Michael Myers is the
Alright.
horror movie John Cena. He's like, you can't see me. I'm behind the scenes. I'm behind the bush. You can't see me.
You can't see him. That's why he's gonna get you.
Freddy versus Pinhead is my answer. That would be a dope battle.
I would see either one, honestly. I want to see how those end up because I think that they would be great. All right, these last two are a little bit longer. Does modern horror really stink? Yes or no?
No.
No, I don't think so.
I am on one of those people that if you think modern horror is bad, I dare you to go back and watch horror movies from 91 to 94
Oh, good Lord.
and come back and have this conversation with me again.
Except New Nightmare.
And obviously exceptions to the rule because Jason Goes to Hell was in there too.
Yeah.
But I mean the overall, I think in the last 10 years
We've gotten a lot of like new horror movies, like not sequels or prequels. We've gotten new ideas, and that's awesome.
Cobweb.
Yes,
Talk to
I
Me.
loved Cobweb and Talk to Me.
The Dark and the Wicked, The Cabin in the Woods. Like I could go on and on and on with all these movies that are just like that are not Smile,
Yeah.
Barbarian, The Black Phone,
That they're their
Sinister,
own.
Yes.
Insidious, The Conjuring,
Completely.
The Autopsy of Jane Doe. I mean, I could go on. Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah.
I could go on and on and on about what new
true, you're
horror
right,
has
Billy.
done, and look what last year did for horror.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just alone. I mean, like Smile, Barbarian, The Black Phone, like these movies that are coming out of nowhere. And
Plus,
then
modern horror brings in, a new crowd, a new generation of horror fans. If without that, and then they're gonna go back and watch these older movies,
right?
Because they're like, oh, I like this. I like the way this makes me feel.
That's why I'll never poo-poo a remake or a requel, even if it's god awful.
Yeah.
Because look at Halloween when 2018 came out. The streaming and the sales. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I loved Halloween 2018.
Okay.
The sales and the streaming of Halloween 1978 like quadrupled that year because people went back to watch it. Look at The Exorcist this year. All the streaming and the sales of The Exorcist, how much that went up because of Believer.
Yeah.
And these people that are younger that had never seen Halloween 78, that had never seen The Exorcist, they're going to go back and revisit these movies. Is every new horror movie great? No, it's not.
But not every old horror movie is great.
Exactly.
Yes.
One of the things that she's talked about a lot that had me kind of thinking about this while you guys were mentioning it is horror and comedy and a lot of these other things are always reflective of the time that they were created and maybe like the specific critique or whatever came from that. And so like if you have a problem with modern horror, it's because everything's kind of messed up, it's 100% reflective of what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Like in the 80s, there's a lot of like go super, super conservative, hide all these things. And
the teens,
horror was like a
Yeah.
complete rebellion of that.
Yeah.
And so you see those things and I find that interesting where like, no, today's doesn't suck because it's helping us have a little bit of an escape from the craziness.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think the thing is like, is there more bad movies made today than there was in the 80s and 90s? Sure, I can agree with that.
But then again, there's so many. It's easier now for people.
It is. There's so many more movies being made.
even
Yeah.
just like on their iPhone, like there's so many movies being made, and so we're gonna have a lot more, but that's because a lot more are being made.
I think the scariest movie I've ever seen is 2020's The Dark and the Wicked.
Yeah.
And that's 3 years old. That movie
on my list.
terrified me. That movie, I thought I was desensitized to horror. I was so unsettled throughout that whole film. I just like, there's no, it's Brian Bertino, the same guy that did The Strangers. And there's no like jump scares. I mean, there's maybe one or two.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's just building tension. And you're like, please give me a laugh. Please give me a jump scare. Please break this tension. And it doesn't. And it's eerie. It's dark. It's wicked. Hey, it's a good name for the movie.
Oh, I wonder if that's ridiculous.
Right. Yeah. I do not think modern horror is bad, especially when you get into like the original horror that we're getting now, even if you're going to like Shudder movies and stuff like that.
I freaking love Cobweb. Like
Cobweb was great.
I didn't know anything about that movie, and I went into it not, really, I didn't think I was
completely blind.
Yeah, I was completely blind, and I freaking loved it.
Same with Talk.
I think brings up a good point here too.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Well, finally, original ideas that, and not being controlled by what the studios want or what they think is going to make money, because obviously they don't always know.
Right.
And Troy brings up this good point too that I hear a lot of times, and I think this is kind of a big part of it, is that we haven't necessarily gotten that icon. I kind of felt like if we had a Black Phone universe, like that main character falls into those, but
closest thing is Art. That's the
probably that's what I've heard a lot.
That's like
that Art the Clown is like Gen Z's new icon. But they're maybe not writing that same way. Where there's a big bad, because a big bad can be defeated. Where like we're talking about in a lot of these newer movies, bigger things that maybe we can't.
A lot more themes. It's not as simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very, very complex, but I love those. All right. Last question of the lightning round is, picture yourselves in 5 years. What does your life look like then that might be different than it is now?
There'll be one less kid in the house.
Yeah. We'll have a
20-year-old.
We'll have a 20-year-old. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
That kills my heart. That, and
I'll probably look a little grayer. I think I'll get like the Sean Connery thing going on, that Silver Fox thing. Like I'll probably be doing that.
You think so? Yeah.
I think we'll be doing Sledgehammer horror.
Yeah, I really hope we are doing Sledgehammer horror 5 years from now. Hopefully we will be in a bigger house. We're looking for a bigger house right now.
My eventual end game is to do Sledgehammer horror full time.
Yeah.
That's my end game.
That would be awesome.
I'm hoping there's a couple more acting jobs that I've got my reels out for, that I've got my tapes out for, that I'm hoping to get.
Yeah.
That's something that I love to do. I love to be on set. I've been so blessed with the things that I've been able to do, whether it was with St. Gabriel or The Bride of Killer Pinata, Time's Up, these things that I was able to do, that's another huge passion of mine. So I've got some other tapes out there, some self-tapes and stuff like that, trying to get onto a couple more sets and do a couple more things like that. So really, really hopeful I can have a couple more of those under my belt in 5 years, because I really enjoy being on set. I really enjoy acting and creating characters, and I have a blast doing that.
It's fun. Cool.
Well, let's make a movie.
I love that. Yeah, for real. Oh my gosh, we should combine forces.
I'm in.
That'd be awesome.
Dope. I'm serious. I would love to make that. All right. That was awesome. I love hearing people's answers to that. All right. Second game. Dynamic duos to die for. Basically, I'm going to flash two duos on the screen. I was going to make a joke, and then I was like, it's not coming out right, so I'm just going to skip over it. I'm going to flash two duos on the screen, and you have to decide which duos you like better. Here we go. First up, Mulder and Scully versus Agent J and Agent K.
Mulder and Scully.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like Agent K will slap me if I say the wrong thing.
Fair. That is very, very fair. All right. Thelma and Louise versus Wednesday and Enid.
Wednesday and Enid.
I'll go with Wednesday and Enid too.
Yeah.
Nice. Next up, Wayne and Garth versus Axel and Slash.
Wayne and Garth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Party on.
Yes.
Excellent.
Party on.
Excellent.
Scooby and Shaggy versus Shrek and
Oh, this is hard.
Donkey.
You cut me real deep, guys, but I'm
put
going
them
Scooby
together,
and Shaggy.
Yeah.
way too similar.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I didn't even plan it. The green and the animal. You got it. All right, perfect. All right, Morticia and Gomez versus Lily and Herman.
Morticia and Gomez.
That was our Halloween costume this year.
It was.
I figured that would be your answer. Love it. All right, Billy and Stu versus Freddie and Jason.
Freddie and Jason.
Yeah, Freddie and Jason.
Billy and Stu had one
I got really
movie.
nervous. Yeah, it's true.
Freddie and Jason have epics surrounding them.
They do. Yes. I love it. I got a little nervous there. I have to be honest. I was like, but they.
See, here's another thing though. Billy and Stu are unconfirmed SA people.
Oh yeah.
Because it said that Sidney
true.
Prescott's mom was assaulted and killed. So they could have raped her before. And then I don't think Billy and Stu are very sexy or fun at all at that point. I think they're pathetic, and I'm glad they died.
Right.
Stu is dead.
Yeah.
I'm staying on that hill. So if that's the case, it's always been unconfirmed. But the way that I gathered it from that movie is Maureen Prescott was, I hate saying the word, and killed.
Yep.
Billy and Stu were
That's
the
what I
ones
got
that,
from it. Yeah,
you
that's
know,
what I got
so
from it.
that to me is why everybody's like, I love Billy and Stu. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if we get deeper into the subject of Freddie and what he is, well, we won't go there. All right, last one. Last one. Amanda and John versus Chucky and
Chucky and Tiffany.
Chucky and Tiffany.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Child's Play is my favorite horror franchise.
And honestly, I love Chucky and Tiffany. Yeah.
They are great. I love
They
them
are.
so much. I'm like dying to get a NECA Tiffany doll because the rest of the Tiffany dolls are not great.
Yeah.
Sucks.
They do.
Her makeup's never good. It never looks like her.
I know.
It's really weird. The face is always way too Barbie-ish and fat on the cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
You always want the $800 one.
I can't help it.
I think we talked about that. Like we checked it on eBay, and it's the NECA one, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like $800.
Yeah.
Like Chucky looks good. He looks good, but I
Yeah.
really want a Tiffany doll, and yeah, that's the only one I would want to buy. But all right, cool. We have our games. We have our fun. We got to know them better.
Yeah.
So, what you guys let us know a little bit in the beginning about what you have coming up. Maybe people have joined us since. So, you know, what's next for you guys? Maybe give a little wrap up for anybody who might not have caught on to that.
Tomorrow night, Ashley will be doing a live on the channel, a Ghouls Night In, with Diandra, Kylie from Haunted Hippie, and Kaylee from That Horror Couple.
I'm super excited.
I'm so excited to watch. They're going to be counting down their top 10 Halloween themed horror movies. And then Friday, we have a My First Horror Movie episode coming out. Saturday, Ashley has her Ashley Reviews. And then next week, we will be doing on Thursday night a out of the theater review of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes.
Dope.
And then we've got some other My First Horror Movies coming out next week. On Monday is Diandra and Jason's episode of My First Horror Movie. So if you want to learn how horror started for them, make sure you're checking that out on Monday. And like I said, up until November, we're pretty scheduled out. We've got a couple other live streams coming up we're really excited about. We're ranking the Blink-182 albums.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're doing a watch along of The People Under the Stairs.
My favorite.
Aww.
And
that's sweet.
we haven't announced it yet, so we'll also break the news on this one here because this is another ranking we're really excited about. Ashley and I are together going to rank all the movies in the Insidious, Conjuring, and Sinister universes.
Cool.
One big ranking. So that's another one we're really.
That's a lot
How many
harder
are there?
than I thought.
It's a lot. I think
I don't
there's
even know.
9.
I was going to say.
I think it's between 16 and 19.
Yeah.
It's in that area. You know, when you count the whole Conjuring universe.
Yeah, the
of
Conjurings have
Nun to
tons.
Annabelle.
Yeah.
yeah, that's one that we're really excited about. We're working on that one right now, and doing some on location stuff. I think next weekend we're going to a couple miles away, about 40 miles away. There's a haunted trestle that we're going to go to at night.
Yeah.
And do a doc. You know, we're going to talk about the history of Ghost Trestle, and we actually just wrote this amazing script with all the information about, you know, what had really happened there, why it's allegedly haunted. So we're going to go out there in our friend's hearse.
Yeah.
And
the hearse.
Spooky.
document the whole thing while we're out there. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I know. I'm excited. I love stuff like that.
Right.
I will live vicariously through you because I am terrified to do like actual spooky things. People are like, "Would you stay in a haunted house?" And I'm like, "No way! I'm terrified." Like for me, found footage, like Paranormal Activity and Host, freak me out because it feels
Host was
so real.
There's another great horror movie, recent, newer horror movie is Host. Holy crap! What a great movie.
Yeah. For sure.
Gosh. Hold on, Tyler. You worked on Onyx the Fortuitous? Dude, Onyx takes me back to like the early days of YouTube and stuff. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. But well, this was so much fun, you guys. We adore you. We love everything that you work on. You are one of those channels that always makes us think about how we can be better together, how we can be better people. Everything like that. I can't wait for tomorrow. I have changed my list so many times.
Lock it.
I know it's hard.
Lock
it's
the
really
list.
hard. But anywho, yeah, this has been wonderful, and I can't wait for what else we do in the future. But yes, totally, we got to make a horror movie.
Yeah,
I'm in.
Figure out a way.
I'm 100% in.
We got to figure it out.
Yep,
that would be awesome.
Cool. I'm holding us to that.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining. Please, if you are not already subscribed to Sledgehammer Horror, please do so. They have a lot of amazing content. They're very supportive of the community as a whole. I know we've already talked about a lot of this, just I cannot say enough good things about them. And yeah, like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. But we love you guys. Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you soon.
We love you guys too.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.